3 p.m. on a Saturday at Home Park. It's been over 2 months since we last did this. May as well get started then. Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Argyle TV. It's been a while since we've done this on a Saturday afternoon. In fact, not since Accrington Stanley on October the 8th have we had a 3 p.m. kickoff here at Home Park. But we do today, and there is also a familiar face in the opposition dugout. Derek Adams is bringing his Morecambe side to Home Park this afternoon, and they are looking to get themselves off the bottom of the Sky Bet League One table, while Argyle, on the other hand, will be hoping to get back to winning ways for the first time since that lovely 4-2 victory against Exeter City here. There's been 3 draws and a loss from their last 4 league matches, and that's seen Argyle knocked off the top of the league table. But with Christmas just a week away, what a lovely Christmas present it would be for all of us with a 10th home win this season. Coming up between now and kickoff, we will be looking to speak to the manager on how we go about getting that win. We'll also be joined by Chris Ralph, who is the grounds manager here at Argyle. And we'll be talking to him all about the work that's gone into getting the pitch playable in these freezing temperatures, which has certainly been something that's been on everyone's minds over the past couple of days. And joining me through all of this is none other than former Argyle defender Brian McGlinchey. How are you doing, Brian?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
I was going to say it's a bit of a cold one today, but it's actually not as bad as we expected.
Yeah, I've wrapped up a bit too much, to be honest. I've got about 10 layers on underneath this, so...
Yeah.
We're hot now, to be honest.
Yeah, the sun's out, which is always nice. It certainly makes the afternoon a little bit more enjoyable when it's sunny and we're not completely freezing to death here in the sides.
Exactly, yeah. Pitch looks a bit hard, but to be honest, it looks really good compared to some of the pitches I used to play on. That's immaculate, to be honest. So
I mean, we're going to be talking to Chris in a little bit about the state of the pitch, but how much of an impact does it have when you're playing if the pitch is, particularly cold, icy, frozen?
Yeah, I think I just stood on the side there, and it is a bit hard, but I think the ground staff have done an amazing job to get it to this stage, to be honest. Obviously, with health and safety now, the referee did his final checks, and it looks fine to play. So, yeah, no excuses out there, to be honest.
And then turning our attention to today then, this is a golden opportunity for Argyle to get back on track, isn't it?
Yeah, massive. This is a real big game before the Christmas period, if I'm honest. The fact that Argyle have had a bit of a bumpy period, it's not been ideal. Injuries have definitely played a part in that, but I think this is a really good opportunity for them. we can't underestimate Morecambe. They're a bit of a draw specialist in this sort of division at the moment. So, but they'll be difficult. And I think reading the sort of the press before the match, the manager's talking about patience and stay the crowd be with them really, because if they score early on, it could be a nice afternoon. But if it has to wait to the 80th, 90th minute, then so be it.
Yeah, and it's not just Morecambe; it's Derek Adams Morecambe. Do you think that adds an extra dynamic, I suppose, for the fans in particular?
100%. Any manager come back will want to do a good job. He'll be respectful of what he was achieved back here, but I think he'll want to get a result for his own team, his current employer. So, yeah, but he'll have his team set up in a real aggressive way, and it'll be difficult to beat.
Yeah, well, we are going to have a look at those teams now with Brian. I think it's safe to say Argyle have put forward quite a strong team this afternoon. Let's have a little look at them now. So starting in Argyle's 11 are Michael Cooper, Macaulay Gillespie, Dan Scarr, Matt Butcher, Joe Edwards, Danny Mayer, Niall Ennis, Barley Mumba, Morgan Whitaker, Adam Randall and Nigel Lonvike. And on the subs bench we've got Callum Burton, Jordan Houghton, James Wilson, Ryan Hardy, Sam Cosgrove, Finlay Crask and Caleb Roberts. What do you make of that lineup? It seems pretty strong, doesn't it, Brian?
Yeah, for me, I think our sort of bad period as such, if you want to put it, that is when we've lost Azaz and we lost Mayer. That two number 10s that really made a difference. Teams couldn't really work us out, but Mayer coming back into that position, and then obviously Whitaker playing that number 10 as well alongside him, leaving Ennis up front in his own there. So I think that's for me a big plus for us.
Yeah.
And good options from the bench again. But look, normal back three, very strong. So yeah, it's for me, it's a good lineup and really good options from the bench.
And this is Mayer's first start since September, so that's going to be particularly good for him to be able to, get out and hopefully get as many minutes as possible.
Yeah, 100%. He's a crucial player for us. He's probably on his day, he's probably one of the best players in this league, to be honest. So having him back is a real plus for Argyle, and it gives them real good options. He's just one of those elusive players. It's hard to pick up. And he's unpredictable, and that's the thing. If you become too predictable, teams can do the research and work you out. Where plays a bit off the cuff, and sometimes that's really difficult to mark.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have a look at Morecambe's side as well, see exactly who it is that Argyle will be going up against this afternoon. We have Connor Ripley, Liam Gibson, Ryan Delaney, Cole Stockton, Jensen Weir, Jacob Badu, Caleb Watts, Liam Shaw, Ryan Cooney, Anthony O'Connor and Adam Mayer. You mentioned, Derek Adams bringing a strong team to Argyle. What stands out for you there, Brian?
Well, Stockton, he's scored a couple in his last couple of games, I think, and he's got over 40 goals for Morecambe, from what I believe. And they've got, I think it's Liam Shaw, he's on loan from Celtic, so he's a decent player as well. And just sort of reading about them, really they're all about trying to be a bit more aggressive. They seem to draw a lot of games. They seem to struggle to score goals, to be honest. They're probably one of the lowest goal scorers in the league. So I think they just need to be a bit more clinical. And I think that's, reading some of their comments before the game, they've been working a lot on trying to be a bit more aggressive and a bit more clinical further up the pitch. So I guess that's the sort of mantra they'll come. They try and keep it tight early on and try and take the chances. But for me, if Argyle could just play anywhere near like they've played maybe just before this monthly period, I think this could be a comfortable afternoon. Yeah,
you mentioned Cole Stockton, and we've got here 2 goals in the last 2 games, but of course Morecambe are bottom of the table and they've had just 3 wins all season. So while I'm sure it's good for Stockton, it's it's not a very intimidating number for Argyle.
No, but I don't think you would ever underestimate any professional team, to be honest. There'll be good players there. They'll be working really hard, and I think they've drawn 9, lost 9, so they seem to be drawing a lot of games, and sometimes that's just so fine details to win games. So they'll be a difficult opponent. We can't underestimate them, and we've just got to try and concentrate on our own performances. And I think that's what the manager will be talking about, is just give me a really good performance and trust your ability to sort of get you the result in the end.
Yeah, I think like we spoke about at the top of the show, this is just about Argyle getting back into the swing of winning.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So a run of 4 games then without a win has seen Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday close the gap on Argyle at the top of the table. And Stephen Schumacher sat down with Argyle TV to talk about the side's preparation ahead of the game this afternoon.
Gaffer, that rarest of things this weekend, a Saturday home game.
Yeah, it feels like a long time ago, doesn't it? Early October, so yeah, it feels weird, but it's what everybody looks forward to. Saturday afternoons, coming to watch your team And yeah, hopefully we can go and put on a performance that was better than the last time we played here.
I feel like I want to say, you know, being back at home on a Saturday, you can get back to normal preparations, but you've had a game postponed in the Papa John's Trophy. I imagine the cold has played havoc a little bit with where you can train and all that kind of stuff. So it's still not regular, although you'll try and make it as much as you can. Yeah,
the conditions have been tricky. We had to obviously call one off midweek here. Training's been put back a couple of hours today to give the pitches a chance to thaw out a little bit. But I think everybody up and down the country is having to deal with these issues at the moment. It's yeah, it's been eventful, but our players will be okay. They'll be prepared and ready to go against Morecambe on Saturday.
You've been in that position yourself, obviously, as a player, and I think sometimes we on the outside overthink it a bit. I think players just will turn up and play football and get themselves in the right mindset. They probably don't worry too much about all the external things that you have to think about now.
No, they just get told what time training is and where to be and what to do, and yeah, the great lads, so they don't moan anyway about things that, you know, get thrown at us. They just get on with their work. We're lucky to have a group of players like that. So yeah, we'll obviously try and train properly today, get the information into them tomorrow that we need to, and yeah, try our best to beat what will be a tough game against Morecambe.
Was it a bit of a double-edged sword losing the game in the week? On one hand, you want to get a game in, you want to try and get a good win and get things running, get some minutes into people, but at the same time, there's probably some people that need a little bit more of a break. I suppose there's pluses and minuses, is there, to losing a game?
Yeah, you never want games called off because obviously they're in your schedule and you're ready for them, but sometimes things are out of your control. So when it's come back to next Wednesday, that actually probably makes a little bit more sense for us, because the next day to recover between the league game and the trophy game, and then we haven't got a game then until Monday on Boxing Day, so it shouldn't be too much of a stress on the team. We might be able to put a stronger type of team out because say we'll have a bit more time to recover. But yeah, we just got to deal with the games that are in front of us and do your best in them and try and get the results where you can.
To Saturday's game, a couple of things to put right, I suppose, in your mind. One is the result against Port Vale, the first time we'd lost at home, but also you'll get to be back on the touchline at Home Park this time. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to being down on the sideline. I missed the last one. It didn't feel great not being on the touchline when the crowd's full and just didn't feel part of the game. It was weird. But yeah, I think the most important thing is to try and get a better performance. We didn't play well against Port Vale. They were a better team. We had still created a few chances in that game, didn't take them. And we need to make sure that we do take our chance that we create against what will be a very organised Morecambe team. Everybody here knows how well Derek sets his teams up. Defensively, they're always hard to break down. I've looked at their results this year. They've only won a couple, but they've drawn, I think, 9 games. So that shows that they're competitive. They've got a little bit of quality in the team that can score goals. And yeah, so we need to be patient, I think, as a club. We need to obviously try and start the game well, but if it is getting a little bit tricky and we have to find a way to break them down, then, as I say, keep our discipline and keep our patience, and hopefully someone shows a bit of quality to go and win the game.
So, Brian, Stephen Schumacher will be back on the touchline today, which is always a good thing. It's nice to have your manager beside you on the pitch, but he was keen in that VT to stress how important it is to win the game and get back to the form that they've been showing in the first 15 games of the season. Do you think that's fair comment to make?
Yeah, 100%. He'll be desperate to get a result, get the 3 points, get a bit of confidence back. You know, I think he's quite a level-headed manager. I think he never gets carried away when things are going brilliantly, and I think when things don't go your way, I think he'll have a sort of balanced perspective on things. I think he'll be thinking, yes, we need to improve, but then reflecting on how well they've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think having your manager, because he's very animated on the touchline. If you watch him, he's always encouraging. He's always talking to his team, and I think that's a real. I would love that as a player, to be honest. So I think him not being there on the last home game would have been different for the players. So yeah, I think he'll love that. He likes to get involved, doesn't he? So but I think it'd be a big difference for Argyle in that sense.
How much of a difference does it make as a player when your manager isn't there?
It depends what the manager's like, you know, up to what he's normally like. But watching him from the commentary, and he's always on the touchline. He's always past he's the box area. He's always sort of getting into that zone where he's nearly on the pitch, trying to like encourage his team, which I think is brilliant. I would love that as a player. He's always he's very animated, and I think it's great to see. But I think for me, these players have done brilliant this year, and I think if they can play anywhere near what that level they're used to, I think it should be a comfortable afternoon. I really do.
Yeah, well, we certainly hope so. And we spoke, as the players just coming onto the pitch behind us to warm up, we spoke about how well Argyle got out of the gate this season. You know, they started the season off really strong, and it's tailed off ever so slightly around this Christmas period. What do you think is missing from Argyle currently?
I don't think you can go through any season and not have a difficult period. I think it's coincided with injuries. Like for me, Azaz was a big player for us. Losing him, you know, that sort of just a bit of creativity that you can sort of open up teams. So him and Mayer definitely have been the factors in that. A few injuries with Scar as well. He's a crucial player. But look, say you're going to have challenging periods. You're not going to go through a season without having your ups and downs, and it's how you deal with them and getting through them really quickly. And if you actually look at it, they've done all right. They've got a few draws out of it. So they haven't lost a lot of games.
No,
so for me, it's about now just getting the 3 points today, getting a bit of confidence back, and getting the crowd behind them, getting the crowd something to shout about.
Yeah, and injuries in particular do seem to be something that Argyle have been peppered with, certainly over the course of this season. I think it's fair to say it's something like the fans find disappointing when, you know, their favourite player or a player that they very much have their eye on and rely on to provide during the course of the season, like Finn Azaz you mentioned there, and we've recently just seen Michael Miller as well back out now for another 6 weeks. Wow. It's not ideal at all, is it?
No, it's not. It's disappointing. It's part of the course of them, unfortunately. You know, I think the Miller one's really disappointing because he's had a long period out, come in for a little bit and then out again. So that's really disappointing. But the other ones are just part of the course. You've got to take it on the chin. You know, from what you're reading, that they are going to maybe get some players in January, so that'll be, you know, great for competition and also great for just to give the squad a bit of health, a bit more numbers really. So that'll be good.
And Argyle as well, they haven't scored in their last 2 games. What do you think that's down to? Because it's not a case that we're short of striking talent.
But there have been away games, haven't they?
Yeah.
There have been, you know, obviously the home game of Port Vale. But like, you know, you're going to have periods where things are not going to go against you. But they've had chances, and it's just about being clinical and about being confident. So I wouldn't worry about it. I really wouldn't. I think they'll get a result today, and everyone will be talking about, you know, we'll be top of the table again.
Yes, well, that's what we want to see. Yeah. Do you expect to see Argyle taking a front foot in a game like today then?
Well, 100%. They have to. You know, they're playing. You know, they're second in the league. They're playing against the bottom team. They don't score many goals. Morecambe, they concede quite a few as well. So, you know, they have to be aggressive. Yeah. I think that's what the manager will be looking for, a real aggressive, on the front foot, making it really difficult for Morecambe. I just saw Morecambe come out. They're a big side, really big side. I just saw the size of them there. So you just got to, you know, get their passing game going, get the ball moving quickly, and I think they'll struggle Morecambe with that.
And I think that's what makes a good game to watch, is seeing Argyle on the attack and dominating over the opposition. You can let us know your comments and thoughts as well on social media. You'll be able to see all the ways you can get in touch with us online on the screen for you. The best one is, of course, Twitter. That is @Argyle. Send us a tweet. Let us know what you're looking forward to, where you're watching from in the world. We do like to have a little competition to see who our furthest fan is. They usually come from Japan, giving a special shout out to Tatsumaki Bones. I'm sure we'll be seeing later on at halftime with a tweet, but let us know where you're watching and what you're up to. We would love to hear from you. Now, in a moment, we are going to be joined by Chris Rolfe to talk about the freezing pitch and how to get them playable. That and so much more coming up just after this.
Ball in, good goal, Morecambe. Progress into the second division.
Welcome back. You may have seen earlier in the week that Argyle announced a brand new supporter programme and membership scheme. It is a bit of a scream. It's Evergreen. Evergreen is a subscription fans fund that provides the Green Army with a full range of fantastic Argyle benefits, all while supporting the football operations here at Home Park. And Evergreen members can be the difference in our future success.
Argyle is evergreen.
It's in our DNA.
It's been passed down generations.
Mothers and daughters.
Fathers and sons.
From the seats of Home Park
to all corner of the globe.
It's the miles travelled.
It's the hours online.
It's the devotion of the Green Army.
Together, we've shared every emotion.
Our West Country spirit remains ever strong.
Get on, Janners.
We are Pasties, Pints and Pilgrim Pete.
It's time to embrace our past.
And inspire the Argyle future.
The club that Bob Jack built.
The pioneering spirit.
and class of Jack Leslie.
The great Pele graced our pitch.
We are Mariner, Rafferty, Waiters and Randall.
Memories of the road to Villa Park.
Suzelle is on the near post, comes away, and Cherry in trouble, it's straight in!
The goals of Tommy Tynan.
And there it is! The goal that Argyle so deserves, scored by Tommy Tynan.
And the home park roar.
Warnock, Morges and Wembley dreams.
It's the trophy with more than 30,000 Devon supporters.
Luggy took us back up the leagues.
Hodges, they're all very compact there. Freo. Oh, he's going to go through on his own. He's broken in the fans. 2-0. That's it. Argyle are up.
The magnificent Magyars.
And then the brink of extinction.
We rose once more.
The Green Army United.
Our fans are our foundation.
Now marching forward together.
Begin a new Argyle era.
With an exciting future ahead.
At all levels.
At all ages.
We are a team, a club and a community.
It's what makes Argyle special.
Evergreen is a new way to support our club.
Be it from near
or from afar.
A membership to fast track our future.
I am Evergreen.
I am Evergreen.
I am Evergreen.
And I am Evergreen.
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 We are Evergreen.
I am Evergreen.
We are Evergreen.
I am Evergreen.
We are Evergreen.
I am 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 Evergreen.
We are Evergreen.
I'm Evergreen.
Be the difference.
If you want to find out more about Evergreen and how you can subscribe and what benefits are available to you, then you can get all of the information over on our website, bafc.co.uk. And this week's podcast is all about Evergreen as well, so make sure you check that out. Now, you may have noticed, I don't think it's escaped anyone's notice, that it's been absolutely freezing over the last couple of weeks. Frost, ice, a little bit of snow as well. All very festive, but it is a nightmare for people like you, Chris Rolfe. Just introduce yourself to everyone watching Argyle TV and we'll get into a little bit about how the weather's been affecting you personally.
I'm Chris Rolfe. I'm the Plymouth Argyle grounds manager, looking after Home Park and the training ground and the other associated venues.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. And you, along with your team, you've been working wonders here to get the game on today. Joining us now, what have the last couple of weeks been like for you?
Last week wasn't too bad. It was more about training because of the focusing on the Cambridge game. But since obviously the weekend and Monday, we had the Papa John's game that we were desperately trying to get on, but lost the battle in the end to the elements. That froze on Monday, and with a bad forecast, we were pretty certain we weren't going to be able to do anything more with that. But and then the build up for today started. So yeah, another battle to try and get today going.
Before we break it down, what are the main challenges that come with the weather like we've had and playing on the pitch?
Obviously, down in lovely sunny Plymouth, we normally stay above freezing. The cold's not something we have too much of a problem with, and these sorts of prolonged cold spells are pretty rare. But as everyone's aware, this week and longer, it's been pretty low, below freezing a number of times. So our battle is to try and stop that getting into the pitches. We have frost covers, a series of sheets that are meant to protect down to about -4.
Okay.
They take us about 4 hours to lay out.
Really?
Pull them all on by hand. I think there's 28 covers, and you'll see them around the edge of the pitch now. Pull them out individually, lay them down, hopefully get them on early enough before it starts freezing. That stops the frost getting into the ground. And then it's just a game of cat and mouse when we take them off, when we leave them on, because you want to expose the pitch to as much sunlight as we can, just to keep it recovering and growing. And then, hopefully find some time to prep for the matches.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Papa John's game, which we were supposed to have last week. I take it that one was the temperatures were just completely unworkable.
And the forecast as well. Luckily today we've had a really good forecast. Temperatures getting up to 7 or 8 degrees. So really
what
warm.
A treat.
But knowing that once we got the covers off, there was the chance that obviously the air temperature would help us. Things would start to defrost a bit. We've had a lot of help with like an air heater from Matt at Falcon Environmental. He supplied us with that. We've got a gazebo from Mark at PL1 to put the heater underneath. All little things that have helped us out, and without a doubt that's what's made the difference, along with the lighting rigs. There was certain areas through the middle of the pitch.
And was today in particular a little bit touch and go, because I know there was a decision that had to be made, and we had the referee out earlier on kind of inspecting the pitch. I assume you were there yourself as well, having a little look around. Talk to me about that process.
So again, it's we know where the ref is, we know who he is, we know how far away he is. Zach Newton will be in contact with him early yesterday, saying that we had a little bit of doubt, there was problems on the pitch, but again, a favourable forecast always gives us a chance. So the ref was really calm. He's been really good all day actually. Popped out on a number of occasions to check on how we're getting on and the progress we're making. Just checking areas that were pretty solid this morning and seeing how they've progressed through the day, and just happy with the work we've been doing. Can see the progress and how it's thawing out.
Yeah, and the club was sharing photos as well on social media earlier of what the pitch looked like in the run up to that inspection. And you know, we noticed these huge rigs with like heat lamps on it. Do you find that there's certain areas of the pitch that are slightly more problematic than others in terms of staying colder?
Yeah, so, well, again, down here we don't normally have to deal with these sorts of problems, but for whatever reason, the centre of the pitch was our problem area, the Barn Park side of the centre circle, and around the centre circle itself. But just getting the lighting rigs on there. Obviously, they're there to grow the grass, but part of their byproduct is heat, and that obviously helps germination, but also helps to thaw out solid ground.
Yeah, and very finally, just as a testament of you as and your dedication to the job, slept over last night to make sure the pitch was okay.
Me and 3 others slept over on Sunday night, and we failed miserably. But I come in at 1 o'clock this morning more for my peace of mind, just to keep an eye on it, so I knew exactly what was going on. And the lads were in all evening moving the lighting rigs around just to try and help bring the soil temperatures up, thaw as much as we could. And luckily enough, we're here and hopefully got a good game get ahead of us.
Well, thank you for all the hard work you're putting, making sure the pitch isn't frozen over for this afternoon, and hopefully we can get a win on it. I think that would be very nice. Yes.
No
Thank you, Chris.
Cheers.
I'll leave you. Maybe you get to warm up now. I think you've earned it. Thank you very much for joining us, Chris. Social comments as well. Don't forget to get in touch with us on social media. I've seen already online we've got lots of people looking forward to this game. As we said before, it's been a little while since Argyle have had a Saturday afternoon home game here at Home Park. So lots of people ready and raring to go and looking forward to it. And we will be reading them all out at half-time with Brian. Right, we are approaching kick-off. We get ever closer, 2:30 now. And we will be continuing our build-up and hearing from Morecambe boss Derek Adams just after this. This is Argyle TV, and we are 29 minutes away from kick-off against Morecambe here at Home Park this afternoon. Now, today's visitors may be at the bottom of the table with just 3 wins to their name, but they have drawn 4 of their last 5 matches. And in Derek Adams, there is a manager who knows how to get results.
Plymouth, a club close to your heart. They seem to be genuine promotion contenders this year, but they've had quite a rocky patch recently, haven't they? After a good start.
Yeah, a fantastic club, to sit second in the table after, well, they're nearly the halfway stage is fantastic. And, they've done ever so well because it's a difficult division. And, my time there, I was there for 4 seasons and really enjoyed it. And I think that always going back there is an enjoyment for me.
So is it a good time to play them, do you think, with this sort of, I think they've struggled to win since, is it Halloween, I think?
Yeah, I don't think there's any time good to play a team at the top of the table. But we go there, we've come off a draw against the local rivals in Exeter, and we'll have to go there and be at the top of our game.
And it is about winning games, isn't it? We've talked about this before. It seems to be a theme now, doesn't it? Turning draws into wins.
Yeah, well, it does. You just have to look at the league table, and the league table tells you that Peterborough have lost more games than us this season, 10 games, and they sit in 6th position, but they've won 10. And our problem has been that we haven't turned the draws into wins. There's a number of teams that have lost more games than us, and there's a number of teams that haven't picked up points in the games that we have. We've picked up points in 11 games this season. Some teams have only picked up points in 7, 8 and 9 games. So that tells you how competitive we have been. We haven't been able to get the wins, but going back to my Plymouth Argyle days, we were sitting 2017 in December, bottom of League One and on 17 points. We're bottom of League One on 15 points. We ended up 7th in the league. So that tells you, with 26 games to go, there's a lot of points to play for us, a lot of a season to go. So never judge a team at the halfway stage, always judge a team at the end.
That experience from your point of view and that you can pass on to the players must be invaluable, mustn't it? How you can turn things around like you did at Plymouth.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken to the players about that. At that time at Plymouth, as here, we had, illness, injury, and new players coming in. It just takes time to bed in, and it just shows you the turnaround that can happen. And we sat down with the players on Monday. I went through that with them, and sometimes you don't understand that as a younger player. The turnaround that you can have, and we finished 3 points off a promotion place.
A little insight into Derek Adams there for us. Let's have a reminder of the teams that are playing this afternoon before kickoff. We will start with home team Argyle, naturally, and they are as follows: Macaulay Gillespie, Michael Cooper, Dan Scarr, Matt Butcher, Joe Edwards, Danny Mayer, Niall Ennis, Barley Mumba, Morgan Whitaker, Adam Randall, Nigel Lonvike, and on the bench, Callum Burton, Jordan Houghton, James Wilson, Ryan Hardy, Sam Cosgrove, Finley Crask, and Caleb Roberts. Lots of options, as usual, for Stephen Schumacher when it comes to players up front. We see we've got Hardy and Cosgrove on the bench today, which means Ennis is going to get a good run in straight off the bat.
Yeah. For me, Ennis, he's really good at holding the play up. It sort of links the two number 10s really well, but as you say, you've got Hardy to come on, and Hardy likes to run in behind and stretch. So I think if the game needs that, he's got good options, and then obviously Cosgrove's got that physical ability to hold the ball up and maybe that aerial stuff that they can maybe put the ball a bit more direct into the box. So yes, as always, got good options, and that's been a real game changer this year for me, is the fact that they've been able to make changes at real pivotal times in games where that's changed the game. They've got a result because of those changes, and that's probably the big difference they've got this year. And hopefully, we'll see that today.
Yeah. Do you think that's come, into fruition a little bit when we factor in the amount of injuries that Argyle have had? Even though it's unfortunate for the players and the team as a whole, it seems like there's always still options and reliable options for Stephen Schumacher.
100%. The squad is a real good squad they've got this year. Real, good recruitment, I think, from the club this year. The loan signing has been fantastic. To bring in that many loan signings and not all those be successful as well is unheard of, if I'm honest. I think that's a real credit to the research that the staff have done. But yeah, good squad. And from what I've read, they're going to bring in maybe one or two more.
Yeah.
Which is not nice when you're already in the squad. You think, oh, someone's coming to take my place. But that's football, that's life. And hopefully that will drive and push the existing players to maybe play even better.
Get everyone on their toes for sure. Let's have a look at Morecambe's team again for you as well, managed by Derek Adams. We have Connor Ripley, Liam Gibson, Ryan Delaney, Cole Stockton, Jensen Weir, Jacob, I assume it's Badou.
Badou, maybe?
Badou? Yeah.
I play with the Badou. So
okay, we'll trust Brian. We'll go with Badou. Caleb Watts, Liam Shaw, Ryan Cooney, Anthony O'Connor, and Adam Mayer. And just before we came back to myself and Brian here on Argyle TV, we were looking over our shoulders at the Morecambe players, and you mentioned that you've seen a lot of boot swapping.
Yes.
So far, just talk to me a little bit about that, because I didn't even know that was I thought you had one pair of shoes and that was it.
Well, for me, I think the pitch been really hard. I think a lot of them are going for a moulded boot, but a lot of them have come out already in chains and gone into a normal studded boot. So I think as they're maybe training on, warming up on the pitch has got a bit softer and is able to take a stud. So yeah, it's maybe not as difficult as maybe we think it is. But and I've just seen Cooper run in and he was wearing studs as well. So I don't think the pitch is going to be any influence on the game. I think the pitch looks perfect. It's cold, but yeah, should be a good game.
Everyone seems to be adjusting to it absolutely fine. It doesn't really look any different than it usually does, which I guess is a testament to the ground staff.
Yeah.
And the sun is very much shining as well around the stadium, so we should be in for a very nice afternoon, particularly if Argyle can bring us a nice win before Christmas. And before we hand away to the commentary team this afternoon, this on paper, I think you've more than alluded to it already, on paper this should be a win for Argyle, shouldn't it, Brian?
Yeah, it should be, but there's no way the players or the manager will be thinking like that. He will not allow that to happen. You've got to respect the opposition, but then also be sort of confident of what you can do. If Argyle can play the way they normally play, get back to that sort of aggressive, free-flowing football, I think it should be a comfortable afternoon. But there'll be no complacency in this side at all.
Yeah. What are you looking at and thinking that the main threats are going to be from Morecambe?
I think it's going to be the fact they're going to have an understanding that Argyle are a top side in this division, so they're going to come up here not to give away an early goal. So they're going to be maybe quite a low block, quite deep, make it difficult to get in behind. So we're going to have to be patient. The managers call for patience from the fans. So so they'll be defensive, they'll be aggressive, they'll make it difficult, and they'll try and not give away an early goal. But I think if Argyle can get their nose in front early, then it will sort of settle the lads down. They can relax and play their normal football.
Do you think this has the potential to be a high-scoring game? I mean, we've got Morecambe at the bottom of the table, which arguably is very much playing into Argyle's favour, with Morecambe being at the bottom. But simultaneously, we know they're very good at drawing, so it could be that...
To be honest, if it was that good at predicting scores, I'd be a rich man doing the betting or whatever. But no, it's difficult to call, to be honest. Football's really hard to call. As you say, if you look at the table, we should win comfortably. But football, honestly, is a cruel habit of kicking your teeth when you think things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's, for me, the manager will be thinking about performances. And if they can perform like they normally do, then for me, the result will take care of itself. I really do.
What do you want to see from today, regardless of, win, draw, whatever, in terms of how Argyle are banding together and performing on the pitch? What do you want to see?
For me, I just want to see aggressive on the front foot, making it happen, demand the ball, want the ball, just go and win the game. That sort of urgency, that desire, really. And I think every fan sort of appreciates that effort. And they know they've got the ability. So if they work harder than Morecambe and match that side of the game, then for me, the ability will come through.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being with
Pleasure.
us this afternoon, Brian. Brian will be back with us over the course of the afternoon. Let's have a quick look at some of the other games that are being played today around the league. Some of the ones that are particularly worth looking at. Ipswich are at Wycombe. Sheffield Wednesday are at home to Oxford, and Barnsley and Bolton are both at home too. So keep an eye on those. We will, of course, be bringing you updates throughout the course of the afternoon as those scores come in so that we can see exactly what is going on. Not joined by Pilgrim Pete this afternoon, unfortunately. It's something I think that Argyle TV has lacked, which is a shame because me and Brian were saying earlier, he looks suspiciously taller today. Maybe we'll be able to get a shot of him at some point and you can make those judgments yourself. Has anybody seen Pilgrim Pete? Do we know where he is? He's looking tall, that's all I'll say. Have you found him? Somebody tell me, those of you watching at home, does Pilgrim Pete look suspiciously taller today, or have I just been away from here too long? I don't know. Answers on a postcard. Anyway, right, that is it. We are very much approaching the 15-minute mark for kickoff, so we will finish with the build-up here on Argyle TV and hand over to our lovely comms team. You can, of course, stream the game from wherever you are in the world for just £10. Head to pafc.co.uk for all the information and details to do that and to buy your pass. Charlie Price and Mark Edworthy are standing by for commentary, and that is coming up next. Enjoy the game.